we are going to make these cute little snowflake ornaments. You can add a string on top to hang them on your tree, or you can do no string and you can simply just put it on a branch if you'd like, but I like it with the string. Okay, so what you will need one wooden ring. My ring is 1 3/4 inch, and you will need 15 strings at 15 inches long. So I already have mine cut. Lay it out here. Okay, so I have 15 strings at 15 inches. And then 1 wooden ring. And then you'll need a little bit of extra string for the hanger. And all I do is I take extra of my string and I cut a little bit off of the spool. So roughly about that much. So I'll cut that and then I will split it into thirds. So you can see I have 2 pieces here. These were part of the same string and I just pulled it into thirds, and I used one right here, and then I still have 2 more to use. So they are about 9.5 inches, but you can make it longer. That's just what I estimated when I cut it. Okay, and then if you would like, you can use a macrame brush or a comb. You can also use just a regular comb from your bathroom, just a regular hair comb. I like this for brushing it out because I feel like it fluffs it a little bit, but a regular comb works just as well. Okay, let's get started. So first we're going to start by each piece you'll fold in half, and we're going to do a lark's head knot into the ring. You want to make sure that all of your pieces you put on the exact same way so that you have this uniform look right here on the outside. So if you flip it over, you can see how the back of mine will look different. So this is the front. So after you fold it in half, you'll put your bent side through the hole. And then now it's like a slip knot. So inside your loop, you'll grab your string and then pull it tight. And try to make sure these are even. They don't have to be perfect, but try and make them as even as possible. You pull that tight. You'll probably have to pull them tight again as you are working. And you will do this with all 15 strings. So fold it in half. The folded side goes into the loop, and then through your loop you'll pull your strings, and you can just wrap that around. So this is what you have. Big giant octopus. You will have to tighten these as you start working on them. Okay, so first step is you're going to take a set of 3. It'll be a total of 6 strands hanging off, but it was 3 pieces that you put together. So whichever 3 I'm working on, I'm going to pull those tight. It doesn't matter which 3. You have 15 strands and you'll work in sets of 3 all the way around. So to start off with your 3, I'm going to pull these all aside so we don't get confused. Your left, very left, and your very right are going to be set aside for the moment. There you go. Okay, and if you feel like your piece is moving too much, you can take, I usually just take an extra skein and I'll just set it on top of it so it has a little bit of weight to it, but you can work without it too. Okay, so your left and your right ones get pushed aside for a moment, and then your middle 4, you're going to do a square knot over your middle section. So to do the square knot, your left is going to go over the right. It's going to go over the middle 2 to make a figure 4 and under your right one. And then your right one will go under the middle 2 and keep going under your figure 4 and pull it up into your 4. So now it looks like your little person here is folding their arms. Okay, so just to do that again, you're going to make your figure 4, and this one goes over. Now your right one will go under. Make sure you don't pull this on top and go down, because then you have 2 that are both coming out from the back. So your second piece, make sure it goes under all of the pieces, and you're going to pull it up towards you through the back so that you're folding your arms. Okay, then I like to hold this with my thumb while I pull these pieces up and pull that tight. And that was half your square knot. So now to finish the square knot, we switch sides. So first we started on our left, now we're going to start on our right. So left over right, and then right over left. So your right one is going to go over your middle ones to make your 4, under your left one, and your left one will go under all of them and come back up on the right side. And again, you'll tighten that one. Okay, so that is your square knot. This will be the very center of your snowflake. And now we're going to make the edges. So for the edges, you're going to have a working strand and then a strand that will be your knots. So the working strand, if you imagine you have a stick, so a stick cannot be bent or turned or moved. A stick is straight. You have to keep it straight. So imagine your working strand is going to be a stick. It will never do the looping around. So your working strand is going to be this far left one, and it will make its way over into the middle. And then we'll work from the right over into the middle. Okay, so to start, we're going to take our 2 left ones. This one will be your working strand, and this one will be the piece that you use to knot. So when we're on our left, the left will always go on top. So our left one will go on top, and because this is our working strand, this one will not bend. Then this one underneath will be the one to bend over and then push through. And you always want it to go the way of your leaf. So our leaf is at an angle right here. Sorry, not our leaf. The snowflake is at an angle right here. So you want your working strand to stay at this angle so that it'll form a triangle. This one stays at this angle, and this one will be pulled out because you have all these little pieces that fringe out. So this one is going to go out this way. So as you pull it, if you pull it tight, like you're tying your shoe, it will look like this. Let's see if it'll focus. Okay, so that's like tying your shoe. It's not a super cute knot. So what we want to do we want to keep this little this knotted strand. You want to keep it to look sort of like a circular bubble. So as you pull it up, focus there, as you pull it up, you want it to stay in this rounded shape that it's making right now. So if you just pull on it, it's going to be like tying your shoes. It's just going to pull a regular knot. So we want to work our circular bubble up. So you can pull it up, your working strand, pull it up, and pull this one out. Okay, so that was the first half of our first knot. Now we'll make the second half. So because we're working on our left side of this grouping, the left again will go over the right. So left goes over the right. On your first step, this one underneath was the one that came up and went into the hole. But because this is our stick, our working strand, it's going to stay straight. So this one will go over and it will be the one to move. So we'll go underneath and then back up. And then work your strand up, your working strand. And you just pull that tight. And now you have your first knot. We need to make 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then it'll meet in the middle. So for our next one, this is going to continue to be our working strand. It started at the very edge here, and it's going to work its way to the middle. So it's still our stick. We want it to stay straight. So since we're on our left side, our left is going to go over the right. So left over right. Now this bottom one will go through the hole. And then your stick will stay straight, so pull that one tight at the angle. So you want to follow your triangle angle. And then you'll pull this string up to make your bubble. And we're working on our left, so left goes over the right. This is our working strand. It is going to stay straight, and our knotted strand will be the one to do the moving. Pull that tight. And now you have done 1 and 2 knots on your left. So now we need to move to the right. Now we're moving right to left. So this right one will always go over the left. So this long first one will be your working strand or your stick. It's going to go over your left one. And this bottom one will go through and then pull it up. And again, making sure that your working strand is staying at your triangle angle. If you pull it this way, then you'll have a large space gap right here. And then you will have a hole in your snowflake. So keep it at that angle and pull this one tight. Okay, that was the first half. So for the second half, again, right goes over the left. This is our stick, so it's going to stay straight. And this top one will now circle under and pull it tight. Okay, so now that one's done. Now we need to make 2 of these on the right side, just like we did on the left. So again, right goes over left. This is our stick, so it's going to stay still. And then the bottom one will go through the little loop that you made. And you'll pull your strand up. Now right goes over left. Again, this bottom one is now your stick. So this one will do the moving. And pull that tight. Okay, so now you've done 2 on each side. Now we meet in the middle. These are both your working strands or your sticks. Because we were working on the right side, we're going to continue that. And this will continue to be your working strand. And this one will now become your flexible moving strand. So we're going to keep working from our right to the left. So right goes over the left. And then your working strand will stay straight. So the bottom moving piece will tie a knot. And move that one up there so it's nice and snug. Now again, we're working from the right to the left, so our new right piece will go over our working strand and circle under and pull tight. And that is your first triangle. Now I like to wait till the very end to clip all of these, but I will clip them right now so you can get an idea of what you are doing. Just want to make sure I cut them even. Okay, that was not even. That's why I do it at the end. And then you would brush these out and then probably trim them again because I didn't trim them very evenly. But now you can see your small triangle. Okay, so moving on to the next section. You will get three more strands, or 6 strands total, but 3 sections. I'm going to go ahead and pull them a little bit tighter. They're not going to be super tight on the wooden rings. Okay, so the very left and the very right one are going to go to the side for right now. Now we're going to do our square knot as our base for that center piece. So we're going to start left over right. So left one's going to go over the middle 2 and under your right one, and your right one will go under and all the way under your figure 4 and be pulled up so that your little, you can see his little head, his body, and his arms. He's folding his little arms. Okay. Pull that tight. Now that's the first half of our square knot. So now we went left over right, now we go right over left. So the right one will go over the middle 2 and under the left one. Left one will go under all of it and back up through. And tighten. Okay, now we're going to work on our outside edges. I like to start on the left side all the time. So for the left side, we're going to start with our left strand. It will go over the right because we're moving this direction. And then this is your working strand. This very first piece on the outside will always be the working strand on both sides. Those will be the working strands. So the right side goes over the left. This bottom piece will come up and go back down into it. And then tighten it, keeping that bubble shape. Okay, now that was the first half, so we need to do the second half. So again, right is going to go over left. But now our working strand is over here, so our working strand is not going to move. And this new little short piece will move. Pull that tight, and now you have one knot done. So we have to make 2 on this side. So right is going to go over the left. This is our working strand. So the bottom piece is going to be the one to do the knotting. Pull that one up, making sure your working strand here is staying at this triangle angle. And pull this tight. Can adjust that circle little loop. Okay, that was the first half. So right still goes over left. Now our working strand is right here. So this one is going to go under and back up. And tighten. Okay, so we did 2. Now we're going to move on to the right side. So right goes over left. And again, right goes over left. Okay, now this one is done. Our working strand is going to continue to progress. So right goes over left. Our working strand or our stick will stay still. This bottom one, we'll do the looping. Pull that one up. Right goes over left. And now the top piece is our moving strand. So now we meet in the middle again, and we're going to continue working from our right to our left. So right one goes over the left. This is going to be our working strand or our stick. So this bottom piece will be the one to loop around it. Right goes over left, keeping our working strand straight. And now you have number 2, petal or angle of the snowflake. I'm not sure what it's called. Okay, so now we're gonna get a new set of 3. Try and fit this one in here a little better. And make sure that your pieces aren't crossed over when you're pulling them. Okay, so I'm going to straighten these ones out. This piece is straight. Okay. now that I have made all 5 of my snowflakes, I'm going to start trimming the ends. I did mine a little less than an inch long. When you cut them, you're going to cut them following your same angle here, and that's how you're going to get your snowflake shape. Okay, now that you have all those cut, you'll take either your comb or your brush. You'll brush them out. Again, you can just use a hair comb. You don't have to have any special tools to do this. I'm going to go back through, and I like to cut off all these little fuzzies, if you can see those. You don't have to, that's just preference. And then if I see any little strings that are out of place, a lot of times my angles here will be a little bit long on top. See, that one's sticking out a little bit funny, so just trim that little guy there. Trim these little back pieces, some of this furry stuff. There we go. And just trim it to where you like it. You can have it shorter or longer. That is simply just preference. And now you have a completed snowflake. Okay, now with your finished snowflake, you'll take your strand, your ornament hanging strand, and just simply put it through. And instead of tying a normal knot as if you were tying, just a standard knot like that, these will tend to slip up and down the string. So I like to put both ends together and just make a simple loop knot. I'm not sure if this has a real name. Pull those through, and I missed one. Make sure they all go through. That little guy doesn't want to go. Okay. And you can just pull that towards the top and tighten it. And then I always like to trim my ends just so that they're even, but you don't have to. And now you have a cute snowflake. If you want to add a bead to the top of your snowflake, you're going to take your hanging yarn, and we're going to tie a knot at this end because these are all loose ends. It's sometimes kind of hard to get those through your loop here. So I do it on this side. That's a lot easier to grab. And then I just drag my knot up to where I want it. I'm just going to trim that down. Now I'm going to thread my tapestry needle so that I can thread my bead here. Okay, that knot should be big enough. And then you'll take this, you'll put it through your snowflake, and just like a slip knot or a lark's head knot, you're going to pull this through, making sure that you don't capture all of these little strands. Just pull that tight, and there you have your bead on top. So you can do with or without a bead. You can get a color bead, a red one, a green one. I like the natural wood. I just feel like it goes with like the boho chic look of these snowflakes. So with or without the bead, both cute. And then you are all done.